Okay, welcome back. I want to check if this is recording. Okay, good. Let's go. So every project has 5 phases. All right, that's the decision, the planning, the execution, monitoring, and closure phase. Right. So when you think about it, the initiation phase is the phase where you actually start the project. So initiation usually is a phase where you get the project owner or the product owner, the person that really wants the project achieved, right? Usually the CEO or the owner of a business that wants to hire you, or maybe your manager, someone that wants to give you a project to do. So then you move to the planning stage. So based on in the initiation stage is the stage where you get the brief of the project, you gather requirements, you clarify the requirements, you see. Then you move to planning phase. So planning is how we are going to do the work. Planning is who do we need on the work. Planning is engaging all the people that we need on the work. Planning is the budget of the work. Planning is ensuring the budget gets approved. Planning is agreeing with all your projects, all the people on your project team, what they are gonna what they would be paid. Planning is ensuring that your customer agrees, your customer or the user or the end user or the owner agrees with your understanding of the project. So the output of initiation phase is customer giving you feedback. Sorry, customer giving you the requirements. At the end of the day, planning is when you have a project plan. This is the project that I want to do. This is the project I want to build. I want to build a house. I want to build a supermarket. I want to work on a digital marketing plan. So you see, sometimes you may be a digital marketer, but you need the understanding of a project. So the planning phase is the phase where you're saying that these are the social media channels that we need to achieve this kind of results. So initiation can be, let's say Ruth Adeyemi, with the founder of Sam Life, I said that I want to engage you. Let me say there's a Sheon or Nnamdi in the class. I want to engage you, Sheon, to work on a I want to engage you to work on a viral digital campaign for the upcoming elections in Nigeria. All right, that's a project brief. I want you to pretty much what I want you to achieve, and a lot of times project owners don't really need to know the technical details. As a project owner, I'm telling you that I just want the project to be successful. I just want everybody to know about my party. That's really what I'm concerned about. That's the end of the initiation phase. You get that requirement, you write it down. The planning phase, you then detail all that. So we're going to go through this, do that, use the social media channels, use these newsletters. We're going to do these activation campaigns. We're going to run this kind of advertisements. We're going to share this. We're going to work on that. We're going to do this. We're going to do that. So that's the planning phase. And the execution phase is where we actually go to do it. Of course, we then execute, right? Monitoring, people call it M&E, right? Monitoring and evaluation phase is the phase where you then monitor, oh, how is our project going? We said we're going to achieve this. How is it actually going? So you get what I'm saying? Are we actually making good progress, right? Then closure is when we close the project. Now, when you think about it, you're thinking waterfall because it's flowing like this. Now, it's the same thing for Agile. However, it's not linear. Remember, I told you that. Remember that waterfall is linear. It's just straight like this. But Agile is continuous. So think about it like this. At the initiation phase, we have requirements for a version 1.0 app. Yay! We go to plan it, we execute it, we build it. Now we can go from building. We go from building to monitoring, of course. When we monitor, we get feedback. We go back to what? Planning. Sometimes from execution. So in let's say you are building a product, there's a more detailed phase where you have UI UX development. So UI UX development, you have the software development, you have QA work. So sometimes before the UI is designed, that UI is how the application looks. Someone designs it before it is then written as code that works on your laptop or on your phone. At that UI UX phase, right? A UI designer is a user interface designer. The user is designing and is saying that I know that we've interacted with this customer, but I don't think it's great. Let us remove this and replace it with this. We go back to what? To planning phase. Do you see? Then from planning, we come back to initiation phase. Do you see? Along these lines, these two, planning and execution, we are doing monitoring and evaluation across board. So we may not necessarily need closure right now, but there's something in product development called product retirement. So there are some products that you've used, in my mind, something to go. For example, I don't think to go really still works. I don't know if BBM Messenger still works, but those are some of those products may have been retired. So at that point, you can say the project has been closed. Do you get? A project is slightly different from a product, right? But product development can be part of a project. Do you get? So when you think about it, I'm building a mobile application, right? I'm the project manager, but I can have a product manager on my team. So the product manager is more in terms of a product manager relates more with users, right? When you hear anything product, especially digital product, they relate more with users, right? Than project managers. Project managers deal more with delivery, timelines, and execution, ensuring that the work we say is going to get done is actually going to get done. Product managers deal more with user needs, ensuring that the user gets what they want, right? Ensuring that what we are building is what the user actually wants. So product manager usually will give the project manager the requirements, and the project manager works with the team members to deliver it. Okay. I hope you understood that phase, right? So think about every project like that. Think about that birthday launch like that. It will really change your life. I'm telling you. So think about, so this is a real world example, a mobile application. Excuse me. So identify the market name, that's the initiation phase, and define its core purpose, right? So this can be given, it can be gotten by you, it can be given to you from a project owner, right? To plan detail features, all of those things. Like I told you all this already. Monitor close. Do you see? So yeah, so when you see closure here, it says launch the app. This is from a project point of view, but from a product point of view, the project does not really close. Do you get? It doesn't really close. Even because this it says conduct postmortem analysis. So when you conduct analysis, you discover, so you see gather feedback. When you gather feedback and get this postmortem analysis, you discover that, oh, customers are not really using this feature. Instead of getting to this point to discover, right? You get it in stage 4, then you go back to initiation. So this you identify market need for the app and define its core purpose. So you get the feedback and monitor, you go back to initiation and planning execution, you get feedback again, you go over it again. Do you understand? So that is projects are about people. I mentioned this already, right? Yeah, PM myth. It's very important for you to know that PM is not the boss. Okay. Some of the things I've said today may have made you think that a project manager is the boss of the team, but you are not the boss. You are pretty much a servant leader. Someone said glorified servant, but that's not really it. You're not a glorified servant. You're actually ensuring that the team gets the job done. So think about it. You are not the one that maybe writes the code. You are not the one that does the design. You may not be the one that writes the caption on Twitter or edits the video. But you're the project manager, you're the one that ensures that everybody's work gets done. You're the one that ensures that everybody's able to do the work. You're the one that ensures that the person posting is not delayed by the video editor. Do you get? You are the one that ensures that things are working in their proper sequence and in the proper timeline. You see, so your work is to guide, support, and enable others to achieve project goals. You see, a project manager is more like a conductor, like you can see on the screen. You're not really playing any of the instruments, but without you, things will go haywire. So you yourself, you need to be organized, you need to understand, have an idea of what everybody's doing, and you're servant enough to serve everybody. Do you see? You ensure that okay, everybody has this, you have what is needed for you to succeed. I'm spending time on this again because it's a really big issue. Project managers, you can tend to build an ego and start micromanaging. Hey, you need to do this, hey, you need to do this. Have a clearly defined system. During our interactive session, I'm going to share some things with you. Please remind me in case I didn't bring it up. Meetings, things like that, right? I'm going to talk about how you organize meetings, right? Very important, okay? Because you need to build trust and drive a collaborative and productive environment within your team. It should really change the life of your team. So think about a digital dream team. This is an IT dream team. So developer, people that really build the code, a designer, someone that designs the UI, QA engineer is the one that ensures that the work is quality. So QA engineer works with designer, they work with developer, right? They ensure that your users are getting what they need to do. So in terms of technical depth, so have you thought about it? Thought about what would happen if you download an application on your phone and you are trying to press and you press something, you keep pressing, let me say you press, okay, there's a new feature that WhatsApp just released. That's the at all feature, right? The QA is the one that tests the at all feature to ensure that it works. Now, this is what it means. The at all feature, for example, may work on iPhone devices and it may not work on it may not work on Android devices. Do you see? It may work on newer devices and it may not work on older devices. The QA engineer is the one that ensures that we didn't just build a great product for a small group of people. I mean, especially if the goal is to serve a large audience, right? And maybe all our users. The QA engineer is the one that tests against those scenarios, tests and ensures that when we build our product, if 1 million people use it, it won't go down. How they do that, I think one of the tests that QA engineers is called regression testing, right? They test for bugs, they test that, oh, if so many people use this application, it will not go down, right? Product owner usually is the owner of the product. In some cases, this is also product manager in this case, you see. So for different teams, right, the setup may be different, but these are people that would usually be on most IT project teams, right? That's IT project management teams mostly, right? But like I said, the knowledge of project management here would be beneficial in other areas beyond IT. Okay, so let's go. So like I said, meet your guys, right? Stakeholders, very important. So think about this. Look at the screen. Um, Stakeholders in Nigeria, yeah, we call them organs. So I just want to say so anyone who can affect your project or be affected by it, that's who your stakeholders are. So they are very important people, right? It's a not game of it's a play of people, right? So stakeholders are individuals who have an interest in or influence over your project outcome. So identifying them and managing them effectively is a critical project management skill. So think about it, and their importance are not the same. They are all important, but their importance are not the same and they mean different things. A CEO, for example, can cancel your project, but the user cannot cancel your project. But a CEO can approve your project, give you all the things that you need, but users may never use your product. Do you see? So you can do a project that the CEO likes, but users don't like. Clients maybe someone that pays for the project, right? Pays for it. Investors, people that give you money. CEO can like it, users may look forward to it, but if investor does not give you money, you may not be able to pay your developers and they will not be able to build the project. Do you see? So it's very important that you understand, that you really, really understand that. Okay. I hope you get that. Okay. Moving on to moving on to the next slide. So PM skills, right? These are some skills that I think that are really necessary and essential for you to learn. So soft skills, hard skills, core skills, right? You will learn most of these skills eventually. So communication, you really talk a lot, right? If you don't communicate well as a project manager, you're going to mess up your projects more often than not, right? If you don't communicate very well, if you're unable to speak well, you are going to mess up your project, like mess it up really well. All right. So the core of this is communication. You need to be able to communicate. Communicate to your stakeholders, communicate timelines, communicate to your team members, right? Some people don't understand themselves. You need to be able to separate fights. I mean, I'm telling you, it's the honest truth. Separate misunderstanding, to use a professional term, okay? But if you want to use maybe Nigerian parlance or local parlance, you say separate fights, you know. Just ensure that people are not working against each other. Okay. So finally, your turn. So reflect, explain scope creep using food. So think about it. And if you don't do this, it will be on you, right? So do this, guys. So pause and reflect. What surprises you? What skill did you learn? What will you grow? Right. So these are things that you've learned so far. This is day 1 to 3 course. And I hope you've learned quite a lot and you're gonna put this to practice. Okay. See you in the remaining parts for week 1.